I'm Harrod Lloyd Beck. I'm a Year 5 teacher in Ysgol Clawdd in Denbighshire. This video presentation is on embedding Oracy with additional languages, and I'll be giving examples and tips on how we've done this. Firstly, let's look at the benefits of Oracy when you're learning an additional language. If you think about it, you learn to speak before you learn to read and write, and it's a natural way for anybody, children and adults, to want to learn a new language. They're going to want to speak it first. There's also, other elements, like there's a greater sense of accomplishment for your children who do lack confidence in their own mother tongue with reading and writing. When they're repeating those words that they've done well, they do feel good about it. There's a better understanding of what's been learned, and you think about it, Oracy, it's a skill. It needs to be developed. It's not something you can just learn off by heart like your times tables, and this kind of confidence can help reduce anxiety, especially within the classroom. Lastly but not least, I do think it helps reinforce children to have a positive mindset when learning new languages and help them become a global citizen. Here are some tips and examples of how we've embedded Oracy with our additional language, French, be it vocabulary we're introducing or reinforcing. Firstly, talking partners is a must. Mixed ability is best, and that's so the more confident can model for the less confident children. And when starting a unit or new vocabulary, focus on Oracy to introduce the words. We do this before moving on to a carousel style of teaching with our French lessons. We use flashcards, normally found on Twinkle, or children can make their own, that's quite popular, or their own new posters with the new words. We use lots of songs and rhymes and music which children respond to really well, and play lots of games like memory or bingo to help repetition and further enhance their Oracy skills. So here we've got content and language integrated learning. It's really important when you're having a focus on Oracy that you remember to use these subject-specific words, and I was struggling with that an awful lot with my topic and challenge question. So I came up with this bilingual working wall in Welsh and French. It's really a work in progress. You update it as you go through your topic or challenge question, and it's a really good reminder to use the vocabulary and for the children to remember to use it as well. Providing evidence of Oracy work can be a little bit daunting for a lot of teaching professionals and could even put some of us off, but it doesn't need to be like this. Especially with this new emphasis on pupil voice, it's a lovely time for pupils to talk about their experiences and how much they've learned from their Oracy in class. And also blended learning and remote learning platforms have been a really good opportunity for us to record pupils practicing new language. The example on the right there is from Seesaw, and it's of pupils practicing how to pronounce different types of weather. Another new idea that we're just trialling at the moment is using QR codes that's linked to our Seesaw learning platform, where we print out the QR code and date each one, not only to prove the work that's been done, but also to track the progress. Even when a task can have a focus on reading or writing as shown here, there are still ways to get children speaking in your additional language more. In this example, the pupils were reading subject-specific words in French and Welsh after having had an Oracy lesson in the French words. So they were matching the meanings in 3 languages, English, French and Welsh, and they were more confident trying to say those French words because they'd been introduced to them, so it came to them that bit more naturally. Now in the following task, they were to create a little mini picture dictionary, and after that it was quite nice because they were challenging each other on how to say those different words. Meet our French ambassadors. Having a group of children who promote the additional language being taught is a popular concept adopted by high schools, but it doesn't need to be exclusively for secondary education. As we are currently teaching French to Upper Key Stage 2, the idea behind this is for the chosen French ambassadors to go to the other classes and teach via like a Help a Heavy session or use songs, rhyme, that kind of thing, and even a puppet. It hasn't happened as we'd planned as yet because of COVID last year and we couldn't burst bubbles, but it is starting to take place now. There was an awful lot of interest to apply and we had to whittle it down a lot. The results lovely. There's a group of mixed ability children who are passionate about learning French, and 3 of whom have English as an additional language, so their flair and their love for learning languages is really infectious. Outdoor learning with additional languages just goes really well together. I mean, communication doesn't just take place in the classroom. Building that confidence to use the vocabulary that you've learned when you're out and about, for example, like on holiday and talking to people, making new friends, is vital. It also works really well linking vocabulary and learning to the outside world, for example with nature, where children can use those words when they're out and about and they have the confidence to do so. Also, being out feels like fun for children, not being restrained in that classroom, and it's really good for revisiting and revising vocabulary without it feeling like work. So there are 2 examples here of outdoor learning with French as the additional language, and the children had a great time with both. One was revisiting some French colours, which they did by shouting out the colour and running to a certain spot, and they did that really well and with a lot more fun. We put it into a form of a competition, which made it even more interesting for some of the boys in particular. The other one was a worksheet I made. The children had learnt about different objects that they could find in the yard, and they had to see the different senses, what they could see, smell, taste, hear, etc. And I wasn't even looking for full sentences from all of them, but some of the children who are less confident found that confidence and were just shouting out, "Hey, I can see a fleur." They didn't need to have the full sentence in French, it wasn't important, but they really enjoyed it and they got something from it, and namely that confidence. Here we've got some testimonials, if you wish, from 3 pupils who are all pretty much saying the same kind of thing, and that's the Oracy base has really given them a sense of confidence using French. Obviously they enjoy doing different aspects with the reading and the writing, but singing, playing those games, using those flashcards and practicing talking in French has given them the confidence that they need and want to progress further with the language. Thank you for watching this video and for listening. My contact details are here. It's Sender and Harold Lloyd Beck, beck86@hubcymru.net. If you wish to contact me, please feel free to do so and I'll help you in any way I can.